the shit pitch whisperer day, guys. Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
money.
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. We're going to fucking do. Let's get to the monies. Welcome to the Balking Dead, where there is no sleep for the wicked. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and this show is still sponsored by PrizePicks. So if you haven't already, go on over to PrizePicks, use that promo code PubSports, and do yourself and us a favor with your first match deposit up to $100. They got you, guys. Not just that, it's like saying thank you, Sharpie, a million fucking times. I appreciate the 50 to 100 likes we be getting daily, but if you want to say thank you as in an extra thanks, go use that promo code PubSports on over there with PrizePicks. It helps more than you fucking know. Well, it's Tuesday, guys, and you know Tuesdays we fucking feast and we fucking eat. So we bring in the big guns on Tuesday. How you doing, Spin Doctor, today, my guy?
Doing good. A very, very light action for me last night. Both of us, I know we talked. We found the Rodon trap, and I hit the shit out of the under, so I was very happy. Like we talked about before the show, he was never getting that number ever under any circumstances. No, I was glad it was a light night last night. It just gives me more time to prepare for this feast today. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And today, guys, we're going to talk strictly fucking pitching when I bring on my guy. We might take a little quick commercial in the middle, so fucking be it. But we're going to talk about 9 pitchers today, 9 pitching K-props at the end of the day. So first one on the board, the best one on the board in my opinion, Shane fucking McClanahan at the Marlins, guys. He was not available last night. Opened up this morning at a 7+ -176, an 8+ +112, and he closed at a -114. Once again, all the opening lines are going to be from FanDuel, and the opening lines and closing lines will be off of mybookie.ag, guys. Go on over there and also use that promo code PubSports with mybookie.ag, guys, and get yourself a match deposit, $100 to $1,000, and get yourself some real big boy monies. But let's get into it. Closing lines are obviously 20 minutes before the show. If you're catching the show later, it's obviously not the closing line. So I don't want to hear some lame-ass remark later on about, well, that live, that was the closing line, guys. So shout out to the fucking chat. Without you guys, there ain't us. So LJ from Houston, Rocco Rogers, the fucking first in here. So let's get to the monies, guys. Smash the like if you haven't, and let's talk about number 3 in the black book. He's averaging 6.1 strikeouts over his last 8, 5.8 over his last 6, and PrizePicks has him at a 7.5 in his fantasy score at a 44.5. He does average 11.4 strikeouts per 9 at home compared to 10.8 on the road, and strikes out the right-handed side at an 11.4 K per 9 compared to the left-handed side at a 10.2. But I wouldn't put too much into those strikeout numbers from the left-handed side. There ain't that many times he's seeing many lefties throughout this year, guys, at the end of the fucking day. Righties are hitting a 181 compared to a 207 average that lefties are hitting him for. So, yeah, lefties actually hit him for a better average if you're looking at that. But once again, there's only 20 innings in there, guys. So he doesn't see lefties because he is that fucking dude. Projected lineup is 8 right-handed and 1 left-handed bat. Now we get a guy, guys, where his prop is 1.9 strikeouts higher than his last 8 games average. He's 5 wins, 5 losses to that number, 8 plus, and that's fine, guys. They're giving me plus money. There's nothing shady about this line. If anything, they added probably one more than where it should be at, but still, I'm still willing to bet this shit at the end of the fucking day. Yes, it is higher than what it should be in my opinion, but still, this is my dirty K of the day. When I run these numbers up, from 524 to today, guys. When he played them back on May 24th, this fool went 6 innings, 0 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts. Now, he's seen pretty much the same exact team disgustingly by the numbers, guys, other than their OPS has dropped 100 points. So, same average, same strikeout percentage, same walk percentage, same ISO, the same exact fucking team where he walked in there and fucked them in the eye hole, guys. So, at the end of the day, I'm on Shane McClanahan 8 plus at plus 112 as my dirty K of the day. What do you got to talk and add to the man with the master plan?
Oh man, not much I can add to that. This Marlins team over the last 30 days against left-handed pitching, 313 plate appearances, 31% strikeout rate, just abysmal. And it's not like they've played. They've had a few good lefties in there, but it's not like they've played like the fucking all-star mix here. This Marlins team is striking out. It doesn't matter if they put righties up there. It doesn't matter if they put lefties up there. They do have their lineup confirmed now, and it is 8 righties and Wendell as the lefty. It doesn't really make a difference here. The other thing is that just how money McClanahan can be at home in absolutely racking up strikeouts. He's got a 91st percentile chase rate still for the season, low chase contact. That is bad news against a Marlins team that is one of the worst since the trade deadline in swinging outside of the zone. So, I don't mind taking a shot on an under prop every now and then for a team that swings a lot outside of the zone. Like, for example, the White Sox, if they make contact. So, for example, they'd be 27th in swinging outside of the zone, but they're like top 5 in contact. The Marlins suck at both and have for quite a while now. So when you add that up, and you put them in a situation where they're against a guy like McClanahan, bad mix. I think it's very possible he gets 10 today. I really do.
Yeah, what's crazy is you read out that 31 strikeout percentage. Well, back on May 24th, they were at 31 too. Like at the end of the day, I track these guys by fucking appearances, guys, and this guy's in my book, and the numbers I match up to him are just like, it's like the same exact team, but their average actually went from a 204 to a 150 right now. And their OPS went from a 607 back in May to a 517 now. Like at the end of the day, like you said, they're just missing anything and everything right now.
And when you look at their individual batters that are in their lineup, like what I do a lot is I go down to individual hitters to validate some of my assumptions. And you look at some of the guys in the lineup and you take their strikeout percentage versus left-handed pitching in the last 30 days as well. Joey Wendell over 30%, Garrett Cooper's at 40%, Brian Anderson 31%, De La Cruz 30%. I could go on and on here. And Gerard Encarnacion 64% against lefties. I mean, I don't think I need to continue here. That's probably all you would need to even bet on a lesser pitcher for a strikeout prop, much less somebody who can get guys to chase and whiff like McClanahan can. Easy over for me here. 100%.
Yes, sir. Well, no need to argue about that one. So let's get into the next guy, the Toronto Blue Jay versus the Cub. Kevin Gausman, guys, opened up last night at a 6 plus minus 161. This morning he was at a 6 plus minus 145. And he closed now at a 6 plus minus 176. 7 plus was at a minus 152. He is at a Prize Picks is at a straight 6, and his fantasy score is at 38.5. He does average pretty much same road strikeouts per 9, but he fucking dominates righties compared to lefties, guys. 12K per 9 compared to 8.7 strikeout per 9 from the left-handed side. And they are projecting more righties than lefties, guys, at the end of the day. 6 right-handed, 3 left-handed. I'm gonna let you talk about this guy before I poison them with my fucking information.
Yeah, the big thing with Gausman here is, as you mentioned, there's two things. One is the left-handed versus right-handed, and then the other one is chase contact, because Gausman still is one of the best, if not the best, in MLB in getting guys to chase his pitches. That splitter can be absolutely nasty. So when you have a team that does chase very often or doesn't make contact, those are guys that I look for when I'm going to bet on a pitcher for an over like Kevin Gausman. So when I look at the Cubs, in the last 2 weeks, 20th in swing rate outside of the zone, and I believe they are almost dead or down almost dead last in contact rate during for the same stuff. So, there's a lot of conflicting factors here for me. I'm probably going to be off of this one, but I definitely can see Gausman hitting the over. So lean to the over, but nothing much else for me.
Now, this is where I get into this shit fucking stinks like fucking last week's Pinocha, dog, who did not fucking shower. We talked about it again last week with Kevin Gausman, and if you bet that minus 160 with him, you cashed. If you bet that fucking one above, you lost, guys, at the end of the day. This, to me, is fishy as all fucking hell. So, let's talk about it, guys. This ain't looking right. He's averaging 6.9 strikeouts over his last 8. And they're giving us a 6+ this morning at a minus 145. Now, he's cashed this fucking 6+ at an 80% rate over his last 10 games. So he's 8-10 to 6+ strikeouts, and they're going to give you a minus 145 fucking juice on that. That's not the implied probability of a fucking prop that's hit 80%, guys, in my opinion. So, fishy right here. So, I'm going to dig into it, guys, at the end of the day. This is a team that isn't fucking hitting by the numbers. Kevin Gausman should be out there, and the lineup even says he should be out there striking them out. Now, everything said the same fucking thing for Berrios yesterday, and it did not add up, guys, and he didn't cash, guys. At the end of the day, I'm not a guy who looks to bet fucking unders, but if there was a spot, I would bet this under. There's no way in hell I can bet an over when they're begging me to bet the over. I can't. The end of the day, they just don't give free fucking money, guys. An 80% clip, guys, they were giving out at 6+ this morning at a minus 145. God, man, like, I hope you hit it if you bet it, but just something right there just tells me this just shit ain't fucking right. The guy strikes out 12 righties per 9. They're projected to put 6 right-handed bats. Oh, man, there's just too much shit adds up into smash Gausman's over that the line tells me to back the fuck off. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm personally not playing it. The way this line is orchestrated is very, very simple. Like you had mentioned, it's also very similar to the Rodon one last night, where it just appears that they're just begging for action on the over. Don't give into that. Okay, so it's
begged for it. Go. They begged for it versus Boston last week, and he barely cashed that 6. And that was at a minus 160 at the very first fucking bet of the morning. So, I mean, if you grab the minus 160 prop, which I can't be betting minus 160s all the time, you fucking cashed. Other than that, the dude fucking lost.
Yep. And it's the same exact thing as when, I used the last time I was on this show, I used the blackjack analogy that when you're playing blackjack and the house offers you insurance or even money on blackjack, and the question is, should I take it? It's like, is the casino offering you the bet? Like, do you think they fucking offer it because they lose money? Okay. Do you think that they offer all this free shit, all this promo, whatever, because they offer you things that lose money? No, they don't. So if you're ever in doubt, if a line looks too good to be true, it almost always is. And you don't have to bet the other side, but you can remember, you save money when you don't bet a sucker play.
And that's what I'm all about. And that's what I keep telling people. Like, at the end of the day, just fucking pass. If it doesn't seem right, just pass at the end of the day. Like, and it's been really good for me. So I'm not betting this dude's over. And to be real, I just might slide in on some under money and just keep it to myself. But no way am I going to bet it over when they're begging me to, guys. And we've been calling it on this show now for the past few weeks. and it's hitting at over 70%, guys, if you just bet with the books, guys, blindly. So at the end of the day, I'm not betting against the books when they're screaming, please, please, please give me some more over money. And we'll talk about another guy later on that's doing the same fucking thing. But up next, we're going to talk about Max fucking Fried and these Rockies, guys. He opened up last night, 6+ minus 110. This morning he was at a 6+ minus 103. And then he closed out at even money at that 6+. They have him at 5 on Prize Picks at a minus 257 and a 39.5 fantasy score. He's averaging 5.4 strikeouts over his last 8, 5.7 over his last 6, and he's 4 wins, 6 losses to the number 6+ over the last 10. Everything's looking good to me if you want to bet his over strictly on those numbers. Then we get into the math. 8.6 strikeouts per 9 at home compared to 7.9 on the road. He is at home in this spot. And he strikes out lefties a strikeout per inning compared to righties at 8.1 per 9. Now, Max Fried is the type of guy who can get you 11 to 12 strikeouts or can get you 4 strikeouts and pitch you a fucking complete game. And he understands that that complete game means more to his team than getting a bunch of fucking punch-outs, guys, at the end of the day. He is a complete pitcher. He is a fucking stud. He is a fucking ace. Kind of like Verlander the other day before he got pulled. Verlander don't look for punchies, guys. He got 2 guys on second and third, put down the fucking side, 1, 2, 3, because he had to. Any contact scores a run. That's when aces will go for those punch-outs, guys. And this is where I'm going to get into him, guys. He is projected 8 right-handed bats, 1 left-handed bats. And this is number 14 in the black book. Now, this is the second time seeing these Rockies, and the first time was in Colorado, June 3rd, and this team was walking at a 9.2% clip, hitting .304 as a team with an .846 OPS and an ISO of 170. 170 is great, guys, and this guy went out there, 8 innings, 0 earned runs with 4 strikeouts in Colorado. Fuck the strikeouts, guys. 8 innings, guys, 0 earned runs in the worst place to pitch in the history of fucking baseball. Oh, yeah, guys, at the end of the day, this guy fucking dicked him down, and now he gets a team by the numbers. They've cooled off some, but they're still hitting. 277 as a team, 756 OPS with a 160 ISO. Now, the problem with them is they don't strike out by the numbers at a 19.7 strikeout clip, but they're not walking either, guys. 5.9% right now versus lefties over their last 200 plate appearances is not going to fucking help you. Now, I just preached to you how Max Fried ain't the type of guy to go just looking for punchies. Well, everything tells me in these people's batting averages and their OPS and how they do hit lefties that he's going to have some fucking traffic today, guys, at the end of the day. I don't like to be in games where there's volatility or a bunch of traffic, but this is the type of fucking shit that Max Fried will need to hit his strikeout props today, guys, in my opinion. That 6+, I think he gets it, guys, but I don't bet thinks, I don't bet ifs. If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. My aunt ain't got balls, guys. I know it's 2022. Some people are okay with it. Not on this show, fellas. Earmuffs, baby. But at the end of the day, guys, I expect a lot of base runners from these Rockies sitting on second and third at times, guys, and Max Fried then will go to put them down. If they're on first place, he's going to look for a double play, guys, at the end of the day. But nothing in the numbers tells me to play him, but just strictly, I just expect a lot of people on that second or third base, and that's when he will look for him. But like I said, I don't like to be involved in volatility, so it's a strict pass for me right here. You got anything on Max versus these Rockies?
Very slight lean on the over. I've actually bet on the Rockies, bet on and against the Rockies a number of times versus left-handed pitchers because of their low strikeout percentage and because they have a number of guys that are projected to be in their starting lineup that have extremely low K percentage percentages versus lefties. So you have Connor Joe at under 20%. You have Garrett Hampson is under 10%. You have Montero. I mean, there's a number of guys. However, I watched that entire game with Fried and when he pitched in Colorado. The reason why I did it was the 1 year anniversary of when I started posting plays publicly, and he was my play for that day because I've talked about this here and elsewhere as well about the atmospheric effects that a guy like Fried experiences when he's at Coors Field. So the short version here is that his curveball, which is his main strikeout pitch, does not have as sharp or as much of break, which makes it easier to hang up there and for guys to make contact with. That's why he only pitched 8 innings and had 4 strikeouts. The guy had fucking 15 other hitters on 2 strike counts. If he does that exact same thing at home, he'll strike out 8 easily. Now the question becomes, right, is that since this is not a proximity rematch, this is not a back-to-back or anything like that, they haven't seen him in a while, what variant of the Rockies lineup is going to show up today? So they are very Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to striking out. So for me, I have a very slight lean on the over here, especially because I see it's on DraftKings right now at plus money. However, it's probably a pass for me too. I'm the same boat you are, Sharpie. It's like if you gave me $100 free play and said you can bet it on that game, I would bet on Max Fried over. But if I'm risking my own money, I don't know if I feel strong enough for it yet. But like I said, Max's curveball should have the regular break, the regular snap tonight. It's been just fine over his last few home starts. So he has that working in his favor. Now, you couple that with the Rockies team does have some tape on him, does have some experience previously this season with him. What does that usually come out to be? That usually comes out to be about a wash. So I think that this line is set pretty perfectly, and it's probably not something that I'm actively looking to bet my own money on.
Exactly, guys. At the end of the day, we're just giving you information. It's your freaking idea or job to either bet it or not bet it. And I'm just not putting my money down because I don't bet fucking $10, $20. I know you don't bet $10, $20.
I don't.
And so it's been nice to learn how to say pass or to pick one spot a day, bro. At the end of the day, I broke down 9 fucking spots, and to come out with 1 or 2, bro, to me that means I'm doing my job, guys, at the end of the day. And I like it. So let's get on to the next guy. We got 6 more fucking pitchers to talk about, so let's start trying to pump through this. Framber Valdez at the Rangers, guys, part motherfucking 4. Over his last 8 games, he's averaging 6.75 Ks per game. Last 6, 6.3. This morning, he was at a 7+ minus 104. He's moved to that 7+ at plus 114. He's at 6.5 on Prize Picks, 38.5 on Fantasy Score. And he averages 9.9 K per 9 at home compared to 7 just on the road. And he strikes out the same lefties versus righties per 9, right around that 8.2 K per 9 rate. So when I dig into Framber Valdez, guys, number 29 in the black book, this is his 4th time seeing him, guys. And he's dicked him down every fucking time he's played him. 6 innings, 1 earned 5 Ks, 7 innings, 1 earned 7 Ks, 7 innings, 0 earned 8 Ks. And the recent latest appearance was August 11th when he had those 8 strikeouts. And now, back when he ran up, just quick, simple version, guys, is I am not going to bet Valdez here. It's a simple pass. This is the toughest Rangers team he will see all year by the fucking numbers. They are walking at a 7.5%. That is trash, okay? That's the only trash thing in their numbers. Their strikeouts, 15% right now over the last 200 plate appearances to left-handed pitchers. They're batting .317 with an .870 OPS and an ISO of 177, guys. Last time he played them on August 11th, they were at a 29.5 K percentage, 202 average, 633 OPS. The number said he was going to go out there and dick them down strictly because 4th time, and these are the worst numbers in every which way I can look at. There's no way I can bet this guy's over. What do you got on him?
Yeah, the 4th time around for a guy that only hits this number versus divisional opponents on the road at a 50% clip, and that's even going back the last year and a half. Not really a fan of this one. I have a slight lean on the under here. However, I've made it a point this year to not bet unders on the Rangers, on the Pirates, and on the Angels, and it's been very profitable for me. So I'm probably going to pass on this one as well. However, the only thing that I will say on the other side going for him is 5 out of his last 6 appearances, Valdez has thrown over 100 pitches. Dusty trusts him. Dusty will leave him out there. His velo and his spin have been pretty well in line. So that's not indicative of a guy who would have a dead arm, of a guy who would need to be replaced. So I would suspect that he's out there for 6 to 7 innings throwing 100 pitches. And when you factor that against the line, this just looks like no matter what side you bet on, you're going to sweat the fuck out of it. And I don't like doing that. So my money and my time are more valuable to me. So on to the next.
But just quick, you did say that 50% rate. Also, another 50%, guys, is over his last 10 games. He is 5 wins, 5 losses to that number 7. So you are getting plus money if you're looking at that way. The books, they don't know what number. They literally gave you the fucking average. What up, my fucking dude? Trade day, motherfucking El Treinta. But let's get to the next guy on the list before we hit a break and we get to the last few ones. So Lucas Giolito versus the Royals, part 3. He opened up this morning 6 plus minus 159, and now before the show he was at a minus 152 6 plus. He's averaging 4.8 strikeouts over his last 8 games, 5.2 over his last 6, and on Prize Picks they put him at a 6 plus also, whereas fantasy score is at a 32.5. Mind you, guys, on Prize Picks, if you're betting 6 pluses, that's a push on Prize Picks, guys. We don't want fucking pushes when we can go single bet numbers if you do want it somewhere else, guys, at the end of the day. There is times where they're giving us a minus 200-300. I'll take a fucking push on that on our parlays for that, guys. But at the end of the day, we don't just hunt juice, guys, at the end of the day. And we'll talk about one later on where I think it's a good spot. So at home, averages 10 strikeouts per 9 compared to the road, 10.6. He is at home here, but he dominates lefties at 11.7 K per 9 compared to the right-handed side at just 9.1. And he's done well versus these Royals, guys. And it's not a surprise because they are projecting 5 left-handed, 4 right-handed. And it's not just the strikeouts, guys, that he dominates lefties. The average, the batting average, which will leave a guy out there longer, guys. Lefties hit a measly ass 232 compared to righties hitting 325 off this guy. Oh my God. I'm going to let you talk about Giolito before I poison them with my Blake Snell Jr. comments.
So Giolito, yeah, he definitely has some Blake Snell about him. I will absolutely give you that. In 3+ walks in 4 of his last 6, and has only hit over 100 pitches in one of those games, has actually only gotten out of the 6th inning in one of those games as well. Actually, has only gotten out of the 6th inning once twice this entire season. So you're probably only going to get 5 to 6 innings out of Giolito. And so then what you basically need to hit that number is you need 1K per inning to hit a prop that's juiced at minus 165. That for me is probably cutting it a little too razor close, a little too razor thin. When I look at some of his numbers over his last few starts, his overall velo has been just fine. However, on his breaking balls, his spin has been down on his slider and his curveball. Now he doesn't throw his curveball as much, but his spin is down close to 100 RPMs. And so those are usually what a pitcher goes to, especially late in a start, to try to get guys to chase and get guys to miss, or even early to try to put them away. So, and that's especially true when you have a fastball like Giolito, which only averages 92.7 or 92.9, I'm sorry, for the year. And probably, doesn't usually get any higher than about 93, 94. It's not overpowering. So he's got to rely on his breaking stuff. His breaking stuff has been very average lately. I don't really want anything to do with this matchup. I don't want anything to do with this game, period, on either side, either way, either pitcher, nothing. I am going to just totally punt on this one.
Yeah, I get that, guys. And I got some other things to add in. And you were on his under last week, bro, and then good call on that. And what was even crazier is we talked about it then, as I was like, this motherfucker can go strike out 3 or 5 in a row and never do it for the rest of the game. Yep. He struck out the fucking side and didn't touch another fucking batter for the rest of the game, bro.
Nothing.
Fuck, bro. Do you know what I did learn in that game? Because I preach all the time, you need to listen with the volume on, guys. Like, you can learn from these fucking guys. They're going to give you information on these pitchers that we can't even fucking find. Like, this is their job, guys, to talk 3 hours, preferably an hour and a half on that starting pitcher, guys. And they've got to have information on information for us. So just hit that volume. He just brought it up. His spin rate is down. It's not just this. It's drastically down, his fastball and his spin rate from where it was at last year, guys. This guy is a fucking head case. And If it wasn't for how big of a fucking head case he was, guys, I would look towards the over and bet it. But the juice is just fucking stupid. They're begging you to bet the under on a prop that's only hit 40% over his last 10. They're just giving you minus 152 to minus 165 on the over. He's 4 wins and 10 losses, or 4 wins, 6 losses over his last 10 to this. So they're begging you to go out and slap this guy's under. He just fucking choked a donkey dick. But then a lot of people will go back and see, oh, well, he owns the Royals. A lot of people, strict basic cappers, they're going to look at how he's done versus them in the past. I get it, guys. He is strictly lineup fucking dependable. Like, it's got to be lefty dominant to even fucking think about playing this guy, period. And I can't even pull the trigger at no juice like this. If they want to give me a minus 130 on that 6, I'd give him a half unit, guys, strictly because the guy's been sucking dick under a bridge for fucking milk money and he's lactose intolerant. Pretty much he does it for free, guys. His ERA is 6+ at home. His post All-Star ERA is 6+. This guy's just been fucking bleh. So I don't like to bet on shitty pitchers, guys. And Giolito has become a shitty fucking pitcher, guys, at the end of the fucking day. An ERA above 5 is fucking disgusting, period. And no Nola, you rock like the crack cocaine rock. Ha! But we're going to get into a quick commercial. We're going to talk about the next 4 pitchers, and I'm going to let him talk about the trap before I talk about the trap, because there's a goddamn trap out there, boys.
Like, I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god.
Yes, I need that commercial more than you guys know. Bake like a cake, ready for round 2. And if you don't know, you should know. Go on over to fucking the Lawnmower 4.0. Manscaped, guys. Go on over to Manscaped. Use that promo code PubSports. Get yourself some free shipping on that Lawnmower 4.0. Once again, hedge your balls, not your bets, guys. Nobody likes a wizard sleeve. If you take care of yourself, I bet your lady starts to take care of you more. Double standards, guys. If she got to take care of herself, you need to take care of yourself. So stop fucking bullshitting and go get yourself that Lawnmower 4.0. And now we got the second trap of the day, guys. Let's talk about opening line. Was at a 7+ minus 160. 7+ minus 124 is where he opened out this morning, and he closed at a minus 130. As you know, I haven't said he as in his name, because me and this guy right here, we do our own work, and we also see these traps, guys, at the end of the day. So I'm going to keep breaking down this guy's shit before I say his name, and I'm going to shoot it over to him, and this is how you know it's a fucking trap. So he's at Prize Picks is at a 6.5. His fantasy scores at a 40.5. He averages pretty much the same, guys. Home road strikeouts per 9. There's not much of a difference. It's right around that 10K per 9. And lefties, righties, he averages pretty much the same. 9.6 both ways, pretty much, if you want to round it around there, guys. So this guy is a beast, and he's looking at 3 right-handed bats, 6 left-handed bats. And, yeah, they're giving us a 7. So go ahead and talk about the first issue on the board.
All right. So again, without saying the name, so we have, if you look, and
no, you can say the name.
I can say the name. Okay.
That way they know that we know, but we didn't do our work separately. We did our work separately.
Well, you are talking about Aaron Nola for sure. And so since July, to the over on this number is 7-2. However, the line has been moving where the under is getting more juice throughout the day. So especially for a guy that since that same time frame is averaging 7.56 Ks and has the highest average number of total batters faced in 27.44 of any pitcher on the slate today. Obviously, the simple equation is when you're a strikeout pitcher, the more batters you face, the more batters you have, highest chance you have of striking them out. So you also have Nola, who has a 91st percentile chase rate, a 98th percentile walk rate, doesn't walk many people. And his first pitch strike percentage is also the highest of any pitcher on the slate today at 70.1%. So now you factor all that in, and then you ask yourself, against a team like the Diamondbacks, why the fuck are we getting a 6.5? This number should be 7.5 easily. This number should be 7.5. Now, we talked about it before. If the books are offering you something, if they're offering you a bet, such as this, like insurance and blackjack, do you think that it's advantageous for the player? Absolutely not. Okay. So a couple things about the Diamondbacks. They are a very high contact team. So I factored that in a little bit into my capping. I also factored in that they're a lot higher contact team at home. They typically, actually right now, they sit in the top half in most contact metrics. That usually is counteracted by a pitcher who has a chase rating like Nola in the 91st percentile. So for me, this line screams trap all day, all night. There is not a bone in my body that wants to put $1 on the over on this game for that very reason. This is the exact same shit that we dealt with Rodon last night, where everybody and their brother was saying, oh my God, look, he's hit it so often. It's such an easy, oh, look, shit, it's easy. It's free money. The books don't give us free money. They never have. Like they are begging for action on this over. And when the books are begging for something, you don't have to do the opposite, but for fuck's sake, don't go with them on it.
That's it. That's all I say. You don't have to go fucking opposite. Just pass, guys. At the end of the day, let's talk about number 5 in the black book. Like you said, like what the fuck is going on here, guys? He was a 7.5 last week versus the Reds, and now we're gonna drop him down to a 6.5 versus Arizona. What the fuck is going on here? So let's get a little more into it. At the end of the day, he had 11 strikeouts versus those Reds too, and then they're going to drop him 1.1 strikeouts below his average and give you a prop that's hitting at 80% over his last 10 games. He's had 7 strikeouts in his sleep, guys. At the beginning of the year, that was the number where we bet blindly with Aaron Nola, strictly because a lot of people think he's a strikeout pitcher, and we'll talk like the guy averages pretty much a strikeout an inning. He just goes deep into games, guys. He'll go 7, 8 innings more often than not to get that fucking 7 strikeouts. So at the end of the day, like he just said earlier too, is how often he's been out there, guys. That's not by coincidence. Like the guy pitches in the zone, like you said. And Arizona is one of those sneaky ass fucking teams, bro, that have destroyed my K props at times that I've ran them up against them. And it is funny that you mentioned it. It happens to be when they are at home. Is that fucking weird? Is that not? No, because now I want to go pull back the drop back of their stadium. I did this shit with Seattle too. I was wondering, why does Mike Trout rake in Seattle? Why is it hard for right-handed K props to hit in Seattle? So I go pull back a view of the fucking map and see what the fuck's going on in left field. Left field is a big black fucking tarp, guys, in Seattle. A giant black tarp from fucking center field to the fucking thing. And then over here is a bunch of stands if you're looking at where the lefty is releasing a ball. And it's a bunch of people in white shirts. So the ball is so much harder to pick up. At the end of the day, you are able to pick up a right-handed fucking ball in Seattle like this if you're not hiding it over there because they got a black tarp behind them on that side of the fucking mound, guys. At the end of the day, there's got to be something going on here. I need to go pull back the map and see what the fuck their stadium looks like, guys. You'd be surprised. Backdrops mean something. If they, like you said, if they don't strike out at home, why? Why? Why do they do it on the road? It's got to be something in their backdrop, dude, that I've got to go now fucking hunt and find out.
Well, overall, though, the Diamondbacks have gotten a ton better at not striking out. And the biggest reason was, and this is one thing that I talked about at the start of the season, which you need to pay attention to at the start of the year, is coaching changes. So they hired Joe Mather as their hitting coach, who spent a number of years in the Reds organization. The big difference, the big change that Mather made for them, which is really coming to fruition now, is that last year they were swinging for power a lot. So if you go and look deep into their swing metrics, you see their lineup that they had last year would swing for power often, which if you don't, no, when you swing for power often, you strike out a lot more. Mather brought the approach of, no, we're going to make contact in the first 5 or 6 innings, and the power stuff will come later as a starting pitcher tires. So he realized that he didn't have a team with Aaron Judge and Trout and all those, guys like that. So they have to scrap it. So what they try to do is to make slash contact. And then what that does is rack up a pitcher's pitch count, where in the 5th and 6th innings, when he would begin nearing the end of his route, then you can start swinging for power. That would also be why, for a number of props that I bet on for the under with the Diamondbacks, when we lose by the hook, like we did with Dylan Cease the other day on his 100th pitch, it was at the very, very end. It was because he struck out 3 of the last 6 guys, and that was because they had worn him out, and then they were swinging for power. That's how Mather coaches. That's how the Diamondbacks swing. That's what they're going to do every single game. It's even more extrapolated at home, especially when they're facing a high strikeout pitcher. They try to wear starters down.
Yes, sir. So if you just popped in, guys, we already got over 80 live. We appreciate you. Go back and rewind that Aaron Nola bit. Do not get suckered in on him, please, and thank you. And once we get hit to that 50 live, which we're fucking an eye blink away, we will recap the Dirty K at the end of the day. But we got to talk about the other side of this side, and let's talk Zac Gallen, guys. And this guy's been a fucking beast post-All-Star, guys. He was good pre-All-Star. This motherfucker figured something out, guys. Pre-All-Star, 3.56 ERA with an 8.6 K per 9. Post-All-Star, 0.8 ERA with a 9.8 K per 9, guys. At the end of the day, this guy is a future Cy Young Award winner. I preach that all fucking year, guys. This guy is a fucking stud. 4 different pitches, guys. 2-3 of them are plus-type pitches. And the problem with him at the middle of the year, where I got off of him for a while, is he started pitching to contact. And now, as a K-prop person, that could fucking piss you off at the end of the day. But as a pitcher, as an ace, if you want to go longer, guys, you got to pitch to contact. You can't try to punch everybody in their motherfucking dude out. But as K-prop bettors, that's what the fuck I want. But at the end of the day, you get guys like Giolito then, and they walk 5, 6, 7 people in the midst of trying to cash your K-prop. This guy's not out there trying to walk people. He's out there trying to pitch to contact. And if you strike out in the zone, so be it. He does have the shit to strike you out. If you get on second and third base, he is going to look to put you down. Now let's get into him, guys. 6+ at -141 this morning. 6+ -143 before the show. He's averaging 6.75 over his last 8. 7 strikeouts over his last 6. Now are we getting into a trap? So let's get to it and talk about it. 5.5 on Prize Picks. 31.5 on Fantasy Score. He averages pretty much the same home road. 9.1 at home, 8.8 on the road, K per 9. And he strikes out righties at a 9.4 K per 9 compared to 8.7 on the left-handed side. And they are projecting 5 right-handed, 4 left-handed bats. Now, he's hit this number, 6 wins, 4 losses, to that 6+ number 10. So that's where I'm going to pull it back and say, I don't think it's a trap. And this is where it was like last week with him, guys. They had him at 6+, and he was at a -130. And it was the same type of thing where I had to pull it back to the last 10 and see. Last week it was 5-5. This week it's 6-4 to 6 wins, 4 losses to the number 6+. And they're giving you a -141, which is the probability and juice-wise to the numbers that he's hit that now, guys. At the end of the day, I don't think this line's a trap. And that's, at the end of the day, I'm a math person, and I can see it in the numbers. So it is what it is. I don't think it's a trap. And to me, I'm going to talk about, the numbers strictly don't say play it. Team striking out at a 21% clip. They're walking at a 7.4 clip. And they're hitting fucking 268, 755 with a 160 ISO. He played them earlier this year on June 10th, and he got his butthole taken from him, guys. He didn't make it out the second inning, and he got destroyed. Now, do I expect a bounce-back game from him? Yes, the guy has been elite, but I've got to see stuff just more in reading a line in the guy's prop to play him that I'm not trying to run into the volatility that the Phillies are fucking offering right now, guys. 270 average, 760 OPS, and an ISO of 160 is enough to fucking scare me off, guys, at the end of the day. So I'm going to pass. There's nothing in the numbers to tell me to play him, but I mean, I get the number why it's that low is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I actually mapped Gallen out pretty extensively because I wanted to see the same thing that you did if the number was a trap. And when I go hitter by hitter here in the projected lineup, so projected lineup, I believe it's 5-4, 5 righties, 4 lefties. And when I look at that for K percentage versus right-handed pitchers in the last 30 days, the only one that is really that concerning is Schwarber, who's at 32.9. Everybody else is actually reasonably low. Marsh is at a 28.9. That's a little concerning. But then you have guys like Bryce, who's at 8.3, Stott, who's at 11.9, and Segura, who's at 16.7. So when you figure that those guys will face Gallen twice, maybe 3 times, and you factor that math in, that comes up with only an average number of Ks. However, on the flip side, what Gallen has working for him is both he and the Phillies have first pitch strike percentages right around, it's actually almost identical, 64.2 and 64.1. So, and the strikeout percentage when he gets strike one, 32.2, is almost identical to the Phillies at 30.4. Factor all that math in. And like, I'm actually coming up with somewhere around 5.8 to 5.9 strikeouts against a line of 5.5. I know that probably doesn't help you if you want to bet this one because you're like, well, what the fuck? You can't get 8.8 of a strikeout. I understand that. What I'm saying is that this line is set. I do all that math to validate that the line is set correctly. The line, the juice is set correctly. The books are probably going to get what they want on this one and get an equal amount of action on both sides. I can see either side hitting. And so if that's the case for me, it's a pass.
Exactly, guys. At the end of the day, guys, our job betting overs or unders is finding the averages and finding when they're going to not get it and why they won't get it, guys, or why they will get it at the end of the day. And when they don't give us an average like they did there, then we have to do a little bigger digger deeping and see why. Okay, why are they not giving? Why did they drop this down? Well, we can understand this one where we don't get the motherfucking Nola, and I sure as fuck don't get Gausman. I'm gonna tell you that, guys. That Gausman one just don't add up to me, and it'll be a strict easy pass on those 2 guys. Let's talk about the last game of the day.
Sorry, I said one more thing about Gallen. So just for those that aren't familiar with my capping method, when I do math, I actually calculate it 4 different ways because I like to get a different flavor of numbers and see if I can figure out exactly what the books are looking at. So when I look at my pure math, I come out to 5.95. When I look at the first pitch strike stuff, it comes out to 5.90. When I look at hitter by hitter, it's 5.5. And when I look at deeper hitter by hitter, it's 6. All of that just screams he will have 5 or he will have 6. 1 wins, 1 loses. I don't want to have to deal with that risk. We can move on. Sorry.
No, then we'll move on it. But before we do, I'll give you some information Noli knows did give me on fucking Zac Gallen. He is the second most profitable pitcher to the first 5 money line this year, guys. 14 wins, 3 losses. Fucking plus 1,000 on your dollar bill, dog, if you've been betting you some Zac Gallen first 5 this year. So let's talk about the smell that everybody smells in the room, and that's Blake Snell, guys. At the end of the day, you know how I feel about this guy. I refuse to bet him, but that don't mean I won't talk about him and break him down for you. 7 plus minus 186 this morning, now a 7 plus minus 130. This is starting to fucking feel a little weird when it first didn't. I don't get this fucking line move, and let's talk about it, guys. He's averaging 6.9 strikeouts over his last 8, 7.5 over his last 6. I get the line where it was at first. It was at an 8 plus 120. He was 5 wins, 5 losses to that number, and the minus 190 at 7 plus this morning. I get that too. He was 7 wins, 3 losses to that number. So I don't even know why I even looked at that, but I still wrote it down, and then it dropped. The line fucking came smashing down. So this is where I don't get it, guys, where they had the line set where it should be, and somebody thinks they know something, or there's an umpire involved, or there's something fucking shady going on. But he averages 11.7 home per 9 compared to 12.7 on the road. He's on the road where he averages a strikeout more per 9. And then lefties versus righties, he strikes out righties at a 12.6 compared to a 10.7 on the left-handed side. They're projecting 6 right-handed, 3 left-handed bats. And he's played these guys now. This will be the third time. The last time being August 8th, where he went 5.2 innings, 108 Ks. Faced them back on July 8th, 6 innings, 111 Ks. At the end of the day, I don't get this line move, and I'll talk a little more about him because I do know you got a good read on this, man. So what you got on Blake Snell, and do you get this line move?
I do. I think I do. So a few things. One is based on the projected lineup here. The one thing that the Giants have been doing over the last 30 days is walking against left-handed pitchers. 361 plate appearances, 10.2% walk percentage. That is probably not good for Mr. Snell. So longtime VIP members of my own who might be listening know that in our little VIP, we call them TBSE, which stands for the Blake Snell Experience. I call him that because it doesn't matter if you bet on him, doesn't matter if you fade him, doesn't matter if you bet both. He will always make you sweat the fuck out of it. It doesn't make a difference. That is just how Blake Snell pitches. So when he goes against a team that has actually been relatively patient, which the Giants swing metrics would indicate that they have been, and can rack up a lot of walks, his pitch count can get racked up very, very quickly. He actually, when he does start walking guys and doesn't get calls, he does start to overthrow pitches. So he for sure overthrows his slider and he overthrows his fastball high, especially when he can get that thing up to like 98, 99. Now, you talked about umpires, Sharpie. The umpire for this game, the home plate umpire right now, and I haven't heard anything that it's not going to be, is Ryan Blakeney. Ryan Blakeney is an extreme pitcher's umpire. So what that means is that very, very slanted towards the pitcher, and he has a 23.1% strikeout percentage on the season. That's well above umpire average of about 20.5 to 21. And on average, pitchers that pitch with him behind the plate get about a 7.5 to 8% boost in their strikeout percentage. So I think that could be playing a part in it. I always use umpires as a tiebreaker when I'm deciding to make to either play something or not play something. The big thing here, though, is that Blakeney over the course, especially of this season, has a pretty wide strike zone. So when you couple that and you think like, okay, well, the Giants have been pretty patient. Are they going to be able to be patient tonight when you have an umpire with that kind of strike zone? Because the one thing that Blake Snell does do well is when he gets you down in 1-2 and 0-2 counts, his breaking ball can just be wicked and it can be almost impossible to hit. So a lot of conflicting factors here for me. I'm inclined with some of the movement here to take a lean on the under, but I don't like to bet on anything Blake Snell related unless I'm very, very, very certain, and I am not in this case because, like I said, it doesn't matter if you've never bet on Blake Snell before, whether you bet on him or against him, you are always in for heartburn. It doesn't matter. That's just who he is.
Yeah, and I mean, when I run these numbers up, fucking to today's numbers, the only thing that really actually worries me is the 11% walk rate that these Giants do have right now versus lefties over their 200 plate appearances, guys. And at the end of the day, I tend to pay a lot more to that walk percentage than I do to that strikeout percentage. Like, I can see a fucking murderous strikeout percentage, and if they're walking too, bro, it'll still end up fucking you in your eye hole more often than not, guys. When a team walks at an 11% clip, that's pretty crazy, guys. So I don't get the line move. I don't bet on Blake Snell because he's fucked me too many times. If I were, though, dude, and everything tells me over in this spot. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the line move coming down. And maybe someone out there needs to give him some over money because I sure as fuck won't. I cannot. He's stolen enough from me and my family. But what I can tell you is I think this motherfucker figured something out, guys. Pre-All-Star, post-All-Star, other than Cleveland where we knew he was going to get shellacked, the guy has a 1.69 ERA, and his K per 9 went from 11.5 to a fucking 12.4 pre-post All-Star, guys. His ERA was 5+ pre-All-Star. It's a sub-2 if you take out that Cleveland game, guys. So I think this guy's feeling really good. He fucking owns the Giants, guys. He feels really good versus this team. And I wouldn't be surprised if Blake Snell goes on out there and just racks them up versus this team. They've given up, guys. So I don't get the line move, but I don't bet on Blake Snell at the end of the day. That's just my rule. So let's talk about the other side real fucking quick. Logan Webb, guys, 4+ at a -160 this morning, and he was at a -167 right before the show ended. He's averaging 4.2. He's averaging 4.5 over his last 6, 4.2 over his last 8. And when you drop it back, it's 6 wins, 4 losses, to that number 4 over his last 10. So I get the juice, I get the number, and because of the team he's going against, we've talked about it lately, guys. They just are one of those teams, especially now who they added. They were already a team who really didn't strike out often, guys, and then they added 2 guys who will brutally fuck a pitch count up, guys. At the end of the day, Soto will get you for a 10 pitch at bat every game, if not 2 of them, guys. So you just don't want that betting pitch prop. So let's talk about it real fucking quick. He averages 7.8 strikeouts at home, 6.8 on the road, and same lefty per righty, 7.4 pretty much per 9. Now, when I dig into it, guys, this will be the 3rd time that he plays them. First time was the 2nd week of baseball. No numbers. Not the same team either, guys, but he still went out there, 8 innings, 7 strikeouts. Played them again on July 7th, 8 innings, 2 strikeouts. I don't fucking care about any of that, guys. At the end of the day, it's not the same fucking team, period. So I'm going to throw those numbers away and just look at today's numbers strictly. And these numbers are a 11.8 walk percentage over their last 200 plate appearances. Yes, they're not hitting for dog shit, guys. 194, 596 OPS with a 102 ISO, and a strikeout percentage of 23.7. That's a weird number because I'm going to talk about it, guys, because I figured this guy out, guys. And it's stupid. Some people are easy to read, guys. And he is strictly that strikeout percentage number, guys, and that walk percentage. That means more to Logan Webb than any other numbers in my books or anything, guys, at the end of the day. If you strike out at a 24% clip, the guy fucking, where did I write? My bad. It's simple, my bad. 24% K percentage or higher is when you want to play Logan Webb. Strictly off the K percentage, guys. If the team's striking out a lot, Detroit, it was at a 5. Last week, like the last 2 times we played this guy, it's strictly off of a strikeout percentage, and it's that easy. When a team walks above 10%, this is where he's ran into fucking problems this year, guys. And we've got the Padres walking at an 11.8%. Now, he's played 5 teams that's walked above 10% this year. He's averaging 3.6 strikeouts in those games. I'm not fucking with this guy if a team's walking or they're not striking out. I've dubbed him Charlotte Webb because he's a bitch. At the end of the day, I don't like the guy. I don't like to bet on the fucking guy. And if the fucking strikeout percentage doesn't scream the play on it, I just simply don't even look at the guy. So you got anything to add on the Charlotte's Webb?
No, I would agree with you. He goes through these long periods where where it's just fucking maddening because he'll get 2 strikes on a guy and can't put him away. So, even when you look at his overall strikeout percentage, when he gets an 0-1 count, it's only 27% of many of the pitchers, almost nearly all of the pitchers on the slate today, especially regular starters. That is the worst. When you think about that, a guy like Heaney, his strikeout percentage on an 0-1 count is 46.9%. McClanahan is almost 40. Luzardo's 35.6, so on and so forth. Logan Webb is only 27. And when he doesn't get strike one, 15.7%, which is the worst among all pitchers today on the slate today. The only problem, so you would think, okay, well, shit, bet is under. The only problem I have with that is that he's got the 3rd highest average number of TBF, total batters faced, on the slate today, 25.82. So you do that math, that is a low bar to clear to get 4 strikeouts when you're going to face 26 batters a game. And yeah, okay, guys like Soto and Machado and so on and so forth and Profar probably won't strike out. But when you start to get to the bottom of the lineup, if you're going to face those guys 3 times each, that's 9 potential plate appearances where, a major league pitcher is probably going to get a strikeout or 2 in there. I just don't want anything to do with it because betting on Logan Webb betting on his over makes me vomit a little bit in my mouth, and betting on his under, I typically don't do that for a guy that faces so many hitters per game.
Yes, sir. Well, you just got 9 breakdowns, guys, of some real fucking holy deal, fucking real deal shit, guys, at the end of the day. Go back and re-listen if you haven't. Where can they find you, and where will you be posting that play of the day, my guy?
Yeah, so Spin Doc Sports, and I have not decided on my play of the day yet, my play of the day yet, but it will be posted on my Twitter. I usually try to post it at least 60 to 90 minutes before game time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate all you guys. We do the recap because we hit 50 fucking likes, guys. That's the minimum. That's the mando, and we get there now in our sleep. So I am on Shane McClanahan, 8 plus 112. That's my only fucking bet of the day right now, guys, and I'm in on him pretty good. I get it. They've jumped his number up a strikeout than where it should be. That's fine with me, guys. He should get 8 in his sleep. I know that's a big number. That's fine. Life's a bitch, then you marry one, and we keep cashing tickets, guys. Until next time, let's pull them cheeks back and fuck these bookies square in the eye hole.